Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back, and today we're going to talk about water. But more specifically, the water that you swim in, and not the kind you drink, because, well, let's be honest, I'm pretty sure we're past the point of drinking water. But thankfully we can still swim in water, and I have a few mods downloaded that are going to make the water experience even more realistic. First things first, let's talk about the Enhanced Water mod. Now this has a whole host of different additions. Let's go over some of the basic ones. For one, you're going to notice, in fact, if we go into third person, it's even more easy to see. There we go. So if we actually walk along the water, you're gonna notice the little puddles we make, well, they're different. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't really like these. I think they're from Halo Reach or something like that, but I am not a fan of how those puddles work. They look a little too, simplistic for me, but hey, maybe you guys might like it. And you're gonna notice something else too. See the fact that we're dripping water? Now when you submerge yourself into water and you get out, you're going to actually be dripping with water because, well, you're wet. And that's a feature I think is pretty neat. And there is, of course, the first-person view of it. As you can see, if we get all soaked, you could see the water effects dripping down. Now, unfortunately, this does seem to happen even when we don't completely submerge ourselves. But let's be honest, how the hell can anyone even tell when we do that? However, when we do decide to do that, you're going to be greeted with a really cool transition. Not only does the underwater effects look different, but it sounds different. I'm going to shut up for a second so you guys can hear. We get an entirely different sound effect underwater, and like I said, as well as the post-processing effect, you know, everything's kind of bloomy. Now, there's a really good change here, and I'm going to show a before and after for this. If you guys try to walk on the ground when you're underwater, you're going to notice something. You tend, especially on a hill like this is actually a really good example, you tend to kind of fly up. Now, with this mod, there's kind of like a magnet system in play where it sticks you onto the ground, which means that even if you're going downhill, you are not going to be floating away and swimming. You'll stick to the ground, and that is a very nice feature. You're also going to notice, as we're walking, I'll go into first person here, we leave behind little dirt particles. Okay, it's probably easier to see actually in a third person. So yeah, when we walk around, you'll see little dirt particles kind of flying up. It's probably honestly impossible to see with YouTube's compression. So let's do an even better comparison, and that is with a barrel. So we're going to talk about how the items look when you put them in the water and everything later. But first, let's go ahead and let this thing roll down. And you're going to look at this. Look at those dirt particles flying up. That looks awesome. That really is a huge improvement in my opinion. I don't know if the bubbles are new. I'm pretty sure those have always been in the game, but that looks sick. And this is not the only particle effect that has been added. In fact, if we summon in Odessa here, what's up, man? Isn't it cool living here under the sea? You're also gonna notice blood also kind of mists out, and that is a pretty sick feature in my opinion. And obviously when you kill them, they float up. That's always been a thing. So now, since Odessa's going to be floating up here, let's talk about some of the other water effects. For one, alright, well that was very anticlimactic. So not only do you get different effects from getting in and out of the water, check this out as well. You guys probably saw this at the beginning of the video. You get this like super exposed kind of view when you get out of the water for the first time, as well as some pretty cool and unique sounds. Alright, let's get back to the item at hand. So dropping items in, when you pull them out, it's probably going to be hard to see, but let me see if I can get it. You see that little splash of water there? Every single bit of water particles that comes out of the water now refracts realistically, and it looks pretty sick. This is kind of an extension to the effect that we get when we get out of the water. You know, the water's dripping off of us. It looks pretty nice. I really do like it. It's just I don't like that impact wave thing. It's kind of weird. Now, of course, we should probably talk about the massive change, and that's that the water looks different. You can actually see the waves kind of fluctuate. So I am going to have a before and after. I'll try to line it up perfectly so you guys can see a really good comparison here of what it looks like. I think this is a vastly improved version just from looks. Alright, with all that out of the way though, guys, that was one mod. We have 3 to showcase. Let's go over the next one, and this one's going to be all about, well, setting your friends on fire. And no, not the band. I'm talking about actually setting your friends on fire. Wait, is he actually gonna go in the water? What? Okay, well check this out. Now, when you are on fire, you can extinguish yourself. Let's go ahead and just ignite him again, splash him in the water, pull him out, and he's good as new. And of course, this does also work for us. So you know what I just realized? I don't think V-Fire actually ignites you. Although, let's go ahead and grab this prop if it's still on fire. It is. We can throw the prop in, and it's good as new. Wait, can we drip water onto this? Alright, hold up. I want to know. What if we're soaking wet? Can we, like, extinguish the flame? It doesn't look like it. Oh, Tessa, what are you doing, man? Alright, guys, my bad. I almost got completely ahead of myself. There's even enhanced effects for the airboat. So check this out. Now, when you're going over the water, you can see that it actually does spread the water out. Now, unfortunately, depending on, you know, your FOV and many other factors, it could look a little weird. Like, in my opinion, I wish that this effect went out further than it did, because it looks a little strange with the fact that it cuts off so soon. But if this were just to be elongated, it would look amazing and fantastic. And maybe you want to have a proper wave-based system in Garry's mod. Don't worry, because that is actually the third mod we have downloaded. Alright, so we're back, and you're going to notice that the water looks plain and basic again. And that's because in order to kind of convey this third mod in the best way possible, even though it does work with the mod that I just had enabled, the enhanced water mod, I think it's better if we turn everything off so we can just focus on this one mod. So what does this do? Well, it adds realistic wave simulation whenever you go into the water. Now, it's really hard to see in first person, but check this out. In third person, as you can see us walking through the water, you can kind of see bits of the water are kind of moving out of the way. This is just having the water system mod installed. Now, what else can it do? Well, let's say you splash in something like a barrel. See those little tiny waves propagating outwards? That is the mod right there. And it's so simple, but I think it adds so much to the water system. And like I said, it also works with that other one, but that mod has other effects at play, and it made it kind of difficult to isolate which effects were from which mod, so that's why I disabled it. But yeah, this looks freaking awesome. It's so simple, again, but I think it really does bring a lot. Now, it is expensive apparently, but I'm not seeing any kind of weird frame dips. So your mileage may vary, but definitely check it out. Alright guys, so before we end the video, I do want to see what it looks like with a bigger item. Okay, so not really all that crazy. We can actually see the wave does kind of like pull out after it hits the water. And you're also going to notice that it does kind of jitter outwards sometimes. It's not perfect. Also, check this out. If you even just like touch the water, it creates like a little wave. That's kind of neat. Alright, so what happens if we slam into the water? It's not really going to make that big of a wave. Alright guys, but before we do end this, I think this is going to fix one of the problems we had with the other mod. You guys remember that trail system where we ride the airboat? Well, this is apparently an even better version of it. And you know what? I gotta admit, it does still cut off really early, but it's a lot harder to notice. And I think it looks a lot better in almost every way. I think it also overrides it, so if you have both of these mods installed, you kind of get the best of both worlds. But that's pretty much it, guys. A really cool set of water mods that adds some more realism to your Garry's mod. I would love to know what you guys think about this down below. As always, you can leave a like and subscribe. Stay tuned, because I am going to be working on the most realistic Garry's mod video ever, where I have the most realistic everything installed, and see how much we can change the way Garry's mod looks. Leave a like, subscribe if you want. Links will be in the description, and until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and farewell.